What's up everybody, Crazy here, back in Omen Sky, and today what I have for you guys is a brand new money making method. With this one, you're going to make easy 100 million units per day with very little work. There's just a setup that you need to keep in mind, and after that it's 100 million units passive that you don't even have to worry about. So let's jump right in with everything you need to know, and of course a thumbs up on this video would also be super appreciated. So yeah, anyway, here we are on my base, and this is basically the setup. We're going to use some of the tech in the Beyond update, specifically mineral extractors, supply depots, and as you will soon come to find out, also a very good power grid. And with this one, you're just gonna leave it 24/7 and it will generate 100 million units per day with the way I set it up passively. You don't have to get involved one bit, maybe outside of just selling some stuff. But what we're going to have to take from this one is of course the indium. This is one of the minerals that spawns on planets in blue solar systems. So if you can go into a blue solar system, go on any planet you can find as long as it lists indium under its name, because this is a mineral that, as you can see, sells for quite a bit. So like my entire facility can produce about 9,000 indium per hour for 2 million units. So if I were to wait for one whole hour, this would generate about 4 million units, and in 24 hours that is almost 100 million units. Of course, this is with just like 3, 6, 9, 12 of these mineral extractors, so definitely a ton of stuff going on over here. But this is not all there is to this base. I'm going to run you through the process, but first let's go to my actual power grid. This is not the power grid, by the way. These are just some batteries that I've set up over here just because I like them and because I want to store some more of the electricity. But I'm going to use this teleporter to go to the second part of this base, which is of course my electric grid. And this is basically where the magic happens. Just going into my hotspot detector. As you can see, this is an S-class electromagnetic power hotspot. So this is basically what you will want to do in order to set this up. First of all, of course, you will need a mineral hotspot. The best way to do this is to just go on any planet that lists indium under its description and then start searching manually for hotspots. For that, of course, you will need your multi-tool upgrade, which is this survey device. So make sure you also have that at hand as well. Once you do that, take your exocraft out and every 500 units or so, bring up your survey mode in order to see what are the nearest hotspots. More often than not, you will find hotspots very close to one another. So once you find a proper, let's say, S-class either mineral or electromagnetic deposit, go ahead and search around in a 360-degree radius. In my case, I was both lucky enough to find an electromagnetic power hotspot really close to a mineral one. So basically, all of this is in one single base. That one single base over there that I put between these two hotspots pretty much cover the entire base, and it's enough for me to run cables to power up everything that I need and also transport the electricity all the way back and even have it connected to a short range teleporter. So let me just give you an aerial view of everything. This is of course the power grid. This is that thing that generates me all the electricity that I need. And from here on, here's a few tricks that you will need to keep in mind. So I've connected a short range teleporter. I've also connected it to these batteries just because I want to store a bit of this electricity just in case I want to build a bigger facility somewhere around here. But from here on, I pulled some cables. Of course, I've run them through the ground. You can clip them from anything. All you need to do is just take one cable, put it over here, and from here on you can pretty much create whatever you want because these are snappable to one another. So very easy to snap them, really nice stuff. And the way I did it, just so I know where my cable is and where my connection points are, I've set up some of these lights. These lights, they don't require any connection. I just set them up so I know where these connections are up, just in case something goes wrong and I can backtrack my entire progress. So yeah, from here on, I've ran these wires all the way up to over here, and all of this goes all the way back to my silos. So let's actually go back to the silos to see exactly how I set it up. As I was saying, this is all done with one single line, or should I say one single series of connected lines. And once I reach that point over there, Like once I had the cable running over there, I just brought it over here from the silos themselves. I use them as a relay to connect all of these, like all of these extractors all the way back to my main power grid over there. So there's quite a little bit of a distance, but as you can see, I still managed. This is like 400 units, give or take a few meters, with my main base, of course, being somewhere in the middle. First, I started with these extractors. I've just set them up one by one, so like 4 per row, and that gives me in total of 12. From here on, you will need the supply pipes in order to connect all of these to one another. So I started with the first one, ran into the second, and so on, up until all of the extractors were connected. It's actually really easy. You just start with, let's say, a square, connect them all like this, and then just run another line through the middle, and that will pretty much connect all of them in one single grid. And from here on, just connect both of these sides either with 1 pipe or 2 pipes. In my case, I've connected them with 2 pipes because I didn't know if one would be sufficient. Of course, I also have the electricity grid coming up with a bunch of cables. The depots don't actually need any electricity. I've just set them up like this because they are kind of like a conduit. They are just used in order to bring the electricity to them, through them, and then to all of these. And again, the same concept goes here. Just make a square and then connect it to the middle. The same goes with this teleporter over here. They all have to have a common point, but they don't actually need to have one single line connecting both of them. They can run through the same power grid and connect them back to one another. So that's why I'm able to make this work as well. From here on, I also built a shack, and if you want to make it as fast as possible, you will most probably want a teleporter very close to your base. If you set this up correctly, you don't even have to climb up in your ship, go in space. If it's all set up correctly, it's all a matter of instant teleportation, going from your base to the space station and just selling everything over there. So in my case, as you can see, I'm just going here, selling this indium for about 3.6 million. That is like super easy money. I am producing 9,000 indium per hour, and keep in mind that I'm barely using a fifth of the available energy. So if I were to max out everything, I would make 5 times that amount. So in 2 days, you would get passively 1 billion if you set this up with double the amount of extractors that I have. Just to give you a tip over here really quickly, you can definitely make do by extending your base. So let's say, for example, you are at the edge of your base, which in this case, as you can see, it is pretty far away. Like this is more than 500 units. In order to find out the edge of your base, just open up your build menu and it should disappear once you exit its range. For example, if I walk a little bit over here, as you can see, it disappeared. So I can safely assume that somewhere around here is where my limit is. I'm going to just set up one signal beacon just so I can showcase you something on how to extend the reach of one of your bases. So you can extend it by 50 meters by simply going back and pretty much building anything just slightly outside of the base. So for example, I'm here inside of my base limit and I want to take one of these lights and pretty much put it as far away as possible. In that case, I'm putting it over there. So if I walk away, as you can see, my limit has now been extended by a lot. That was where my previous limit is. Here is where my new limit is because I've set up something outside of my base. So yeah, you can kind of use this to your advantage to extend the limits of your base in case 2 hotspots are too far away from one another. So just to give you a comparison, this is way further away compared to how my initial hotspots are spaced out between one another. Another tip that I have for you guys is to make sure that you rename and upload your base. This is so that I know exactly what this base is, and this will give me a better idea of what this is, why I need it, why I am setting it up like this. Now do keep in mind that having your name displayed over here will take a little bit of time. So if you build a base and you don't see its name currently, you will have to have your multiplayer, of course, activated, upload that base, change the name, and maybe also give it like a few hours until the servers get updated with the actual name that you've set up. But once you do that, it will appear in your teleporter list and you will see its name over there being displayed. So yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, a thumbs up on it would be definitely super appreciated. Also make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more awesome content like this. Activate the notification button and I'll see you guys next time.